Hello everybody, here again, Cody Russo with Hooked on Driving Behind the Wheel. I got Sam as my co-host again.
Hey everyone, it's Sam from Hooked on Driving. Today we're going to talk with Santi, who's the head coach at HOD. We're going to dive into his history, what makes HOD different, new and upcoming, and a little bit about our 4th of July event, Star, Stripes, and Speed. Let's chat.
Santi, tell me a little bit about your history.
I got started in this about 20 years ago. Just out of whim, I had gotten a Volkswagen GTI. I wanted to push a little bit more than what I could on the streets. I was always kind of a lunatic on the streets, and I started getting tamer as I got older. So I started looking into options and things to do, and I found a couple of autocross communities up by me, and started going to them, and that became like an addiction. It was just I started like one, and then before you know it, you're doing like 2 in 1 week, like one, like on a Thursday you're looking for one on a Saturday. It got to a point where I was doing like 40, 50 autocross events
crazy.
In a year. It's crazy. I was like going amongst 4 different clubs, like just finding stuff.
Seems like a lot of money.
Autocross is not that, it depends, right? It's not that bad unless you want to compete like really, really, heavy. And I started doing that, and then I kind of caught myself. I was like, man, this is getting to be expensive. There's a lot of travel.
Right.
You end up buying a trailer, you end up buying a tow vehicle. It just keeps going.
Now it's work.
Yeah, it stops being fun at some point, right? It's still fun, but you create this giant community of friends, and it's funny because it's the natural like progression for a lot of people in autocross is to go now and start dipping into like a track day here and there.
Yep.
And that was like just a complete cliff dive for me. I did one of those and I was like, oh my God, this is way better. Right. I'm getting so much seat time. And I had good car control by then. I was a decent autocrosser.
Well, you go from 2.5 minutes of track time for the day. To 2.5 hours for the day.
Yeah.
For a little bit more money.
Not much when you do the math, right? Because, and you also don't have to do the work stint. If you're autocrossing, especially when you're starting out, they got you chasing cones. You're in a parking lot sweating to death half the day, shagging cones for everybody. Once you get, better and better, then you could, get a gig instructing, or you can, work timing and scoring. Once I became an instructor, it became really a lot easier for me. But it's still, like you said, there were times that we would do 6 runs that are like 50 seconds each. So it's 3 minutes. That's it,
Wow.
Yeah.
For us to get 9 runs at just under a minute, that was a great day. I was like, oh my God, you had so much time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because it's all condensed, right? Like you're constantly moving your hands. It's not like
it's fun. It's just
and
condensed version of it.
Yeah, and one of the problems with that is like you have to understand, if you're going to do that, you're competing against a group of individuals, and and that's how you base yourself. That's how you level, how you gauge yourself, your improvement, because every week there's a different setup. Right. On a track. So you can't say, like last week I ran a 53.2, this week I'm running a 51. It's completely different, totally different world you were working on. So you're always, gauging yourself against, a set of peers. And it's cool. But, like sometimes they're having a good day, sometimes you're having a bad day. So there's no real baseline.
Right.
As opposed to a track. You go to the track and like, hey, I ran X amount of, time here last year, or last year, this month, same event. The weather was similar. And now I'm better or worse.
Who pulled you out of autocross? Like what made you, because it doesn't just happen, right? What made you go that way?
Yeah, it was a childhood friend of mine since 3rd grade. He reached out to me one day. He goes, hey, I see you're doing a lot of autocross stuff. I did a track day recently with this club. It was a PCA club. And it was pretty cool. I had a good time, and I see you're a good driver. You're doing really well with autocross. You want to just come out and hang out and give it a shot? I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. So I came out, they put me in a novice group for 1 session. Then they said, no, that's not good. We're going to move you up to another group. And I was like, no, that's not good. We're going to move you back up. I had good car control, I had good vision. Kind of the fundamentals were there. Just needed to like put stuff together a little bit more. And man, after that event, that was it. It was a wrap. It was just, I was within like the next year, I was doing 40 some odd track days a year.
Wow.
So autocross
that was it.
Pushed aside, track days in, you replaced it with the track days.
Yeah, I think since that was like 15 years ago, something like that, I think I've done maybe 2 autocrosses since then.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I'll go back and visit and say hello, hang out with my friends and stuff like that. But it's like for me personally, I find no point in it.
But it did help you originally with car control, knowing what to predict, knowing.
Oh yeah, it gives you super awareness of car balance and car movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. Good place to start.
Yeah, it's definitely a good place to start.
I'm almost jealous too. Like I hear and I see so many of the coaches at HOD, or a handful of them, have this autocross background, and it makes me jealous because it's the stuff we talk about, right? Like the sliding, you're super comfortable with that. You're comfortable with these maneuvers that you're coming in with all of this skill already that I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. They're so comfortable. I take ride-alongs with Santi or any of these other guys who have this background, and I'm like, they are fearless. They're just sliding around. They're pushing it to the maximum. It's really amazing. It's great background, in my opinion.
Well, look at Lex, a driver of ours.
Yes.
Same background, all autocross.
Yeah.
Came to DE, and his driving style is sideways.
Yeah.
That's where he feels comfortable at.
Yeah, you get used to it. You get used to driving a certain way, and that's how you drive.
Right. Yeah. So that's awesome. So you came to DE. So how many years ago was that? How long you been DEing for?
I think it's like 16, 17 years, in that range, something like that. I have to go and do my math, but yeah.
Jumping around club to club.
Yeah.
Became a coach. Yep. Became a CI.
Yep.
So that's highest tier.
Yeah. So I did my first 5 or 7 years. I just I bounced from a lot of clubs to kind of get the feel for what was the right fit. And I started kind of finding a groove, and I became part of a community. I still had a lot of ties with different clubs because I still would do a lot of events with different clubs, but I kind of focused on one group, and then just did that. At some point, I had enough time where I was now up on the food chain, driver wise, or higher up in the, I guess in the instructor status of a club. And I got a call from a friend of mine, an autocross friend of mine, who was doing track days with a new organization that had just started out. They were doing drifting, and they would rent the entire track. And they figured, well, we're renting the entire track, we might as well do a DE on one side and then a drift event on the other. Kind of like what we're working on.
We're working on.
And they asked me to come in, and they were very disorganized. They had really good intentions. They had a good community, but they didn't have a plan for the instructional side. They asked me to come in and be their CI, and I came in, chief instructor.
Yeah.
And I came in and I did an event with them, and I kind of made some assessments, and I brought in another ex-CI of a PCA region that I should do a lot of driving with, and we kind of started forming that club's instructional setup. Their insurance only let them do lead follow, which was kind of good because it all started to transpire. We had set a baseline, and then COVID hit, and then everything was lead follow. We were so far ahead of the game with the lead follow because we already had everything worked out. All the protocols we had worked out. Our drivers were already used to that, and that was a good learning experience. It was a loose club. It wasn't like a really tightly structured, and I liked that vibe. Everybody was always happy. And at that point I had also found Hooked on Driving. So I was doing a lot of events. I was doing CI work with them, and then I was doing a lot of driving with Hooked on Driving. I had started maybe a couple years before with Hooked on Driving, and by that time, when I was the CI for the other club, I became a group leader, or like an interim group leader, fill-in group leader with Hooked on Driving, and that just kept getting more and more detailed. And eventually, the lead follow club, they decided not to continue because it's a tough environment. Track days, to run a track day is a tough environment.
Logistical, it just didn't.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. It was tough, and the tracks are very expensive. And they decided to shift from big tracks to really smaller, parking lots and stuff like that, where it's a lot less expensive to come in. And then I decided to go full focus on Hooked on Driving, and then just was a group leader with them. Yeah, I love the community, with HOD. Hooked on Driving is just.
So you've been with HOD for how long now?
I'm gonna say it's about 7-8 years, probably, something like that.
7-8 years.
Yeah.
And you and myself took it over.
Yep.
About a year and a half ago.
Yep.
So you progressed from kind of dipping your toes in to becoming a group lead.
Yeah.
To then a CI.
Yeah.
And then an owner.
Yeah.
all the way up through the ranks.
Yeah, it's a big. I was really when you guys initially bought it and you asked me to be CI, I was really surprised. I was like, wow, this is it's a great honor to do this because I love the club. Right. I love the people. We go to the track to drive. That's what we say, but we're really there to hang out with some friends. Yeah. It's a party for us, just meet some really great people, hang out and have a good time. Like we would have met Sam, you guys. Otherwise, but
making those connections.
Yeah.
Making a connection. So why Hooked on Driving though? What sparked out with Hooked on Driving compared to, because you've been all around.
Yeah.
And you've ran tons of groups.
Yeah.
So
I've driven basically every group in the Northeast. Just the community, like the feeling that you come in and you're automatically welcomed. Mm-hmm. And one of the things like that I have noticed, a lot of these clubs, you have to be part of the old guard to have a special set of rules apply to you. Otherwise, you get like the book thrown at you for everything. If you're part of the in group, then there's a lot of things that that you don't have to do that you have to do otherwise. We're not Hooked on Driving's not like that. Like Hooked on Driving, everybody gets the same set of rules. We don't overburden people with stuff. Mm-hmm. We're not there to be angry. We just came off of our event at Watkins, and you were there for the coach meeting I gave out. I told our coaches, hey, our job here is to have a little empathy and understand what's going on, with the car in front of you, with your driver. It's not just like, this is the book, this is the rule book, A, B, C, D, this is what happens. There's a lot of gray area in between some of these things. There's a reason why things are happening. Let's try to figure out why and solve that problem, as opposed to say, hey, you're doing this wrong, stop that. This is what you have to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, but why?
Yes.
The why is what's important.
Why is that
understanding? Yeah. And that's why, I'm here too. I've been to other organizations. Of course, we talked about it's the environment, right? It's the support. It's the people. At the end of the day, it is the people. And if there's any little problem, you want to know about it, right? You want to eliminate that problem and make sure everyone's happy. And you do that. You guys are very, very successful at doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, the point isn't to embarrass people, right? Or make them feel uncomfortable.
No.
We want everybody just to have a good time.
Yeah.
And you can make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I make mistakes. I miss flags. I do whatever, right? Everybody makes mistakes. And there's no reason to come down on somebody. Just make sure they notice, they correct it, and you move forward. Everybody has fun.
Yeah, I got a case in point. Something I found out not too long ago. Set of drivers, brothers, you're going to know who they are, obviously. They're at another event. One of them's with their child. So they got a 6-year-old, 7-year-old child. He's walking in the paddock. And somebody comes out yelling at him because he doesn't have a visitor wristband on. Like yelling at the kid. Mm. And the father, almost lost his mind. He's like, why are you yelling at my kid? He's 6 years old.
Yeah, just having fun.
Yeah, which is a 6-year-old kid. All right, let's as opposed to, hey, you know what, did you get your son, you got your son signed in, you got to get him a wristband or whatever. A 6-year-old kid doesn't need a wristband.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that. And that driver goes to me, hey, you know what? I'm never going to drive. Him and his brother, we're never going to drive with this club again because of this reason.
Right.
And it's stuff, we're not like that. We don't, we're...
Absolutely not. I mean, we push family.
Yeah.
We want kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Our Watkins had a ton of kids.
Tons of kids.
Tons of kids.
Kids Zone.
Kids Zone.
Yeah.
That's our first event. I would put hands on, it's probably the first DE event in general to have a dedicated Kids Zone.
Yeah. I mean... Laszlo was telling me that his daughter was down there all day. They were down there all day. Mm-hmm. Him and his wife were down. His daughter and his wife were down there all day, just having. They couldn't peel her out of there.
Right, and that's kind of like the change that we're doing, right? So, we came into the normal DE aspects, having events, driving, and now we're kind of morphing it into our own little, more of how we want to run things, and that is not just DEs. Mm-hmm. That is the car shows, the festivals, the vendors, the drifting. We brought drifting in, the camping. I mean, we're doing spectator camping. We're making it more of a weekend fun time, right? Not just driving.
No.
So where do you see this going in the future? We just came off July 4th show.
Yeah.
Huge. 620 plus car shows.
Yeah.
3,000 plus spectators. 414 DE guys over 3 days. just massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
It was a huge hit, this thing, especially for a day that other clubs couldn't make happen.
Right.
You know, this date was given up because they couldn't make it work. And we come in and, you know, again, you know, and we really attribute to our team. We have such a good team. Mm-hmm. We all get together and we just, you know, figure out where is there a deficiency? Where is there a problem? And let's try to solve that problem. Well, what's a problem? Well, you know what? Like this is such a community that's just so closed at some point where you have to bring other people. You have to feed into this to make it grow. Part of that is bringing families in. Part of that is bringing, you know, drivers who haven't experienced this before.
Sure. Just
spreading the word. And it just builds and builds and builds. I mean, I wish we could continue to do this. I think it's a legitimate, you know, thing to do.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, if we could do this at multiple tracks across our region,
yeah,
and possibly continue, you know, across the rest of the.
I think that's the main goal, right? To have Waka's Glen 4th of July annual show.
Yeah.
Boom. That's this area. If we have one in New Jersey somewhere. That's that area. Boom, once a year. We have one at Poconos or VIR or whatever. But we're known to have that one big event at every track that incorporates everybody.
Yeah.
Not just drivers, not just car show guys, not just drifters. It's literally everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to get out and enjoy the weekend. Yeah. That's what it's bringing everybody together.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, just being, you know, there and seeing the amounts of people, and for a first time event, first time ever doing this, there were tons of people, tons of cars. There were a lot of female drivers there too. I don't think I've ever seen so many female drivers. That was awesome. There was fathers, sons, kids. It was the whole family. It was really, really cool to see. Very successful event.
Very exciting.
Yeah, you know, what I found really, really interesting is like when we were, you know, kind of planning this out, our goal was like not to detract from the DE side, from the driving event side, from our traditional event, because we don't want to, you know, now run an event where we're taking time away from our drivers or
resources,
or burdening with, like, you know, another problem that you have to deal with. And that was a concern. So we you know, we deliberately planned this out so like there wouldn't be anything hitting them or, you know, or just punishing them for the rest of the event. And the funny thing is, like, as we walked through the paddock, and you all know this, all you saw were the craziest smiles. I had nobody tell me they didn't have a good time. Everybody said, this is the best. I can show you my messages. This is the best track day event. Lex sent me a message this morning. This is the best track day event I've ever attended. And it wasn't just because like the track was amazing. You know,
track was great.
Again, you know,
the weather was beautiful.
Weather was good, but you know, weather is weather. But we had low car counts. Traffic wasn't crazy on track. Everybody had tons of free laps. We had a bunch of new drivers coming in that had never driven with us before. I'm gonna say probably half of the drivers had never driven with us before. Everybody there, just across the board, this is the best DE event ever we've been to.
Right.
And you know.
And now you add in the rest.
Yeah.
Right. And that's.
Well, the other, I mean, it was because of everything,
right?
As opposed to like saying, hey, you know, this is a good DE event, but we lost time because you had drifters or you had the motorcycles or you had this and that, you know, because none of that stuff affected our event, you know, or the resources that we used, you know, all the manpower we used to run the car show side of it. None of that stuff took anything from the event. It just added, because in the downtime, people would go down and, you know, grab something cool to eat at one of the, you know, multiple food trucks, or go check out some super sweet cars, you know? And it all comes to the help from everybody. Right? There's no way that I could do it, you could do it. Like it's just not happening. We had 607 Motorsports helping with the car show, right? And Friday night cruise nights helping with the car show. We had Southern Tier events helping with all the vendors and food. The drift ponies that came in and put on a hell of a show with the drift cars. That was crazy.
An insane show. They went through 3 days worth of tires in 6 hours.
When you called me, when you came to pick me up to go, you got to see this. I went down and saw the line of people lined up just for rides. That was nuts.
Insane.
There must have been like 60 people lined up.
Insane. And talking to and I went around and talked to all the drift guys the day after the show, and they said, anytime you need us, like literally all of them, they loved it. They love giving rides. We love giving rides. Of course we love it. Right? You get to show off a little bit, you know, it's cool, it's whatever, but they 100% on board. Best event that they've done. And it was a little track, a smaller track for them, right? And it's hands down best time we've had. Best time. This is insane. We've never had this kind of crowds watching us. We've never had this many people to come and appreciate what we do. And it's just, they were ecstatic, right? And the same way with the car show, it's, you know, in this area, in this demographic that we are, there really are not any big shows in our area that exceed 200-300 cars. Like that's the average. You know, we doubled it year one. So what does that say for year two? What's, you know, because we're definitely doing it next year. So what's next year going to be? Even bigger, right? I mean, that's so where do we expand on that? So it's really exciting, and it's good to hear that everybody's been texting you, saying it was a great time. For anybody that didn't make it, I really feel bad for them.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like
you missed probably the event of the DE season for the Northeast.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're going to see it. I'm sure it's going to pop up all over social media now. It's there's nothing. There's no other organization doing anything similar to this. Not even close.
No.
And again, the fireworks we put on, man. The fireworks are epic.
That was awesome. You could see it too, like you said. You could hear it. You were taking a video. You could hear in the background, "This is awesome! Yeah. You know, we love HOD." It was so fun. It was one of the best nights we've shared at the track.
Yeah.
The going to turn 1, 2. I've never done that. I've never stepped foot on the track. I've just driven on the track, and that was amazing. It was so surreal. I'll never forget that. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was a good time.
That was a really, really good time.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the future, like we said, is doing more of these. Like it's a lot of work. It's an extreme amount of work with everybody, with all the groups, you know, and stress is high the day of, but the reward was nice.
I mean, the stress was high weeks before. Like, you know, the whole event took a lot of planning and stuff, but the reward, like, you know, the message I sent you guys this morning was like, it was just fantastic. Just the fact that we pulled that off and everything, you know, the smiles, just words, all the work we did, the smiles and the happy faces everywhere. There was not one unhappy person that I ran into the entire event. And a huge shout out to Watkins. Because a lot of tracks, they're stuck in the old way, right? They're stuck in this track days, and the same way with other DE companies and all this, right? And the track really took a leap with us. We swung, they took the leap with us too, and hope for the best, and it ended up being a huge success. But a big shout out to them, because with even the quick, like the turn 1 walk, you know what I mean? A phone call at 7:00 at night. Hey man, we got tons of people here. We would love to go out and take pictures on turn 1. Open the gate, go. You know, that normally doesn't happen. Doesn't happen like that. No, that's a process that
hey, we have 75 motorcycles that want to do pace laps with us. Can we do it? Go ahead. It doesn't happen.
No.
And there's a lot that doesn't happen. The drift cars, taking the drift cars out on the main course and letting them drift for 30 minutes at lunch. I mean, it's a lot of firsts that doesn't happen other places that the track was willing to take the gamble with and pay off. And it paid off, but taking that leap with us is what we need. And I think how we change that chapter.
Kudos to the track for like giving us the opportunity to partner up with them. And first of all, reaching out to us and say, hey, this is, you know, we have this date that nobody can take. You guys want to take it? And just then, like, listening to us, we'll take it, but it's going to be a tough day to sell. Can we do X, Y, Z? And they were like, oh, that's great. Let's do it. And the benefit to the local community, man, you know, it's just like, it's such a big, like, stir for everybody around here, you know? Just to say, wow, you know, what a wonderful day that came, like, wasn't there last year. It didn't happen. Like, this has never happened before. This is a brand new crew, you know, just freshly created idea event that serves everybody in the community. You know, because all the spectators are basically, you know, coming locally.
It's locally people.
Look, a lot of the cars are coming from a long distance. I know you said we had cars coming from
South Carolina. I think was the furthest I saw
for the car show. That's a hike. But it's still, you know, like, and it's a great point for all these tracks. Like, you want to do something for your community, because the DE side for these tracks, it's great, but it doesn't really serve the local community.
Right.
You know, okay, it serves the gas station, it serves the supermarket, it serves the restaurant, the pizza shop, whatever. But what about everybody else in the area?
Yeah.
Give them something fun to, you know, come on and see what happens at this track on a regular basis.
And we touched that, right? We touched that with the vendors. We touched that with the food vendors. You know, these are all local people. We touched it with the firework company, you know, that's a guy upstate. And we brought all that in. And let alone even shooting off the fireworks, I mean, for the whole area.
Yeah.
I mean, they're huge. It wasn't, and when I say huge, I mean huge. We're talking like city-sized fireworks. This wasn't like a little fireworks show that we ran down and grabbed some boxes and shot them off. We hired a professional company that shoots off all the fireworks for IMSA, NASCAR, big cities in the area, and had them come up and do it. And that was our way of giving back, even onto charity. We're donating $1,000 to our local school that helped us make trophies. Like we're feeding this back in to our area to try to pump it up. I mean, it's a great time.
It was fantastic.
It really was.
Yeah.
So where do you see the future then? What do we do now?
I would love to do this again. I mean, definitely I would love to do it at Watkins 100% because it's only going to grow exponentially next time we do this. If this was such a overwhelming hit and it just like it maxed out what we expected by so much, it's next year is going to be even, you know, multiples of this year.
Sure.
But I would love the opportunity to do this at other tracks and do the same thing for them. You know, give them the chance to bring in their local community, see what's going on. You know, what do all these cars that come in on trailers do, you know, on a non, you know, race weekend, you know, because they can go and spectate a race. But, you know, like you're at, you know, in Millville and every, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you see cars on trailers rolling by the town and everybody in the community is, oh, what's going on? You know, just a bunch of, you know, knuckleheads bringing their cars to the track, I guess, you know. Well, you know, incorporate them. You never know, you know, what that develops.
Yeah.
100%.
You know?
And people from other areas are asking for it too. I mean, you have people traveling, like we were talking about home tracks, right? Like my closest one is Lime Rock. Your closest one is Watkins Glen. What's your closest track?
Probably Pocono would be my closest.
Pocono?
I'm between Pocono and NJMP.
Yeah. So you hear a bunch of drivers from other areas like, oh, I would love for this to happen by me, or, you know, a little closer, or in this location or that location. Are you guys doing anything like this? Are you doing like a night run at a track? Like all these options that are, you know, in reach or being provided or in talks are really impressive. People are requesting it because they see how successful this past event was.
And it's all against the grain.
Yeah. It's
Like
all taking a chance.
This stuff is against the grain.
Yeah, we're taking a chance.
Yeah.
We're just doing something differently than somebody else.
Right. It's not the norm.
And it's funny because like I know a lot of organizers and they come to me and goes, how come you guys are so successful? So, you know, with such little, you know, basically we're new kids on this. We're a year and a half into this. How come your events are always full? And how come all I'm hearing is, and this is what everybody's like, oh, you guys are killing it everywhere. I'm like, oh, we're just thinking a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know, we're putting we've implemented a lot of changes that weren't being done, you know?
Yeah, the old ways got to go.
Yeah,
it's not the old ways of just hooked on driving. It's the old way of DEing, period. Right? It's across the board. It's the days of showing up and tracking your car for the day and going home are slowly going away. Like there has to be more.
Yeah, you want to be with the times, right? Like staying stagnant and rigid is the worst thing you can do. You want to stay current. You want to see what's trending, right? What do people like? What do they want to see? And you're listening to that. That's making the difference. You're listening to what people want.
Although it's a low cost to get into and get started, when you get serious into it and you start dedicating weekend after weekend and tires, it gets expensive, right? So you want something more than just that. If you're spending the money, what more do we get? What's the benefit? What's that extra edge, you know? Because the times of the family staying home and you going to the racetrack, it's not there anymore. Like you have to bring the family. It has to be a full event, and that goes into our philosophy. Family. We want the whole family there.
Yeah. And there's one thing I want to touch upon about the fact that we're doing things outside of the norm. I had a conversation with a coach I really respect, you know, a guy who came up as a coach with me, well-known guy in the PCA world. Great guy, great driver. Happens to be my neighbor, and it was unbeknownst to me. Found out by my UPS guy who told me. My UPS guy goes, "Hey, that guy gets the same tires you get delivered." And he, it was at I think Saturday. He goes, "Hey, I want to talk to you." And I goes, "Okay, what's going on?" He goes, "You guys do things differently, but there's no more incidents with the way you do things than there is with other clubs." It was a matter of fact, he goes, "I think you have less incidents than other clubs." Because our Watkins Glen event was just nothing went wrong,
right?
And I think a lot of it is because our drivers are more relaxed. They're not being hammered the whole time with a set of rules and just yelled at and talked down to, and you must do this pressure,
right?
Pressure.
And that's the one thing I tell my coaches: hey, when you're working with a student, there's a max amount of pressure they can handle. Your job is to bring them to that limit of that pressure threshold, and find where it's at. Just step over it a little bit, and then bring it back down, because now that threshold gets reset every time you do that.
Sure.
Right. And if you're starting off the day with a ton of pressure already, like, oh my God, where do I put my car? Oh my God, I'm doing this wrong. Someone's gonna yell. You get yelled at 3 times before you get in the car. Your day's already starting off in a bad way. We don't do that.
Yeah. Laid back.
Yeah.
The communication too, it's everything. You have first timers that don't have a clue, and you're patient with them, and you have people who've been there a million times and they're still treated the same way. Like, get in here, come on, let's talk. How you doing? How's your day going? Those check-ins, it's people really, really like that. They appreciate that.
Yeah. The first thing we did when we came is all the cliques.
Yep. Broke it all up.
Demolish them. Right?
Yeah.
There are no cliques. Not going to happen here.
Yeah.
Everybody is everybody. When we have the cookout, everybody's welcome. Everybody's friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, it's the BMW guys, the Porsche guys, the import guys, like, all in their separate corners. We don't have that.
Nope.
Everybody's together.
We break it all up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's it's not the way we want to do it.
Is the and this is what happens with those clubs. The driver you yell at today is a driver you're having a drink by the fire pit tomorrow. Why yell at him? Why go for that?
Right.
Just skip that.
Well, constructive criticism goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
You don't have to be a jerk.
No.
There's no point in it.
It's the delivery, right? Like, there's ways to say things and attribute the same message, but the delivery is everything.
Right.
And there's not one person that I can think of who has made me feel intimidated or made me feel like I don't belong. And that's huge. I run in the paddock, you run into everyone all the time, and it's a Porsche driver, a BMW, or whatever car it may be, and they'll say the same thing. How's your day going? And you ask them how their day's going. It's the camaraderie. The environment is super supportive, and that's why people keep coming back.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we're slowly seeing, a bunch of guys from other organizations come over.
Oh yeah.
Right. And because they're getting wind.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh man, and then it's one guy and another guy and another guy, and it's just because that's what it is. It's laid back. It's hanging out. It's their time to get away. That's what it is. They love being on the track, but it's time to get away. Right.
Yeah.
And if you have to worry while you're away, then it's not fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good for them. It is really good. So that goes to our philosophy, though. So what are you going to do to make sure our philosophy stays in?
We're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep breaking down cliques and groups and just including more and more people. And I deliberately like stuff up whenever I get a chance to with a new student, and I know that this person comes from this group, and I'm going to put an instructor that's from so I kind of like try to play a little balance behind the scenes and just incorporate people into new groups of friendships. And we're lucky. We have the greatest coaches.
Yeah, we do.
We have, and all our coaches are certified. Everybody that comes through our system now, is just a real professional coach. We've almost doubled our coach numbers from when we took over. And it's great because everybody wants to come and work for us.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just including like reaching out to different communities, trying to find that one person who's kind of a key element in that community, and just bring them in, incorporate them, and show them, hey, this is what we do. Bring some friends.
Yeah.
And
Exposure.
And then now get that group and mingle them with another group that they would never get together.
Yeah.
And just like force them into that situation. And now it just like builds that community, builds and builds and builds and builds.
You see that all the time too. Like me personally, I'll be connected with someone, and then they'll say, oh, have you met this person? Like, I think you would connect with this person, or something about you. Oh, you like Subarus? Like, this coach drove a Subaru and they have a history with that. Or, oh, you have an E36. Like, I used to have an E36, and let me take you for a ride along in my E36 and I'll show you what my line is like. And it's those things, those connections, just, they skyrocket. It's like a huge web. I came in knowing no one, and now we're all so close. I meet new people all the time, and I feel super comfortable. I feel like I've found a new family and a new home here. You hear that from other people too. If it's their first time, they're like, all right, when's the next one? I can't wait to go to the next HOD events. And will you be there? Yeah, I'll be there. All right, I know I'll have fun then. It's great.
And it's everywhere. I mean, when we were at IMSA, me and Sam met a kid, Matt.
Yep.
And because he needed his air mattress pumped up, right? He came over and needed his air mattress pumped up. We had a pump. We pumped up his air mattress. Finds out he's a driver. He drives DE. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, well, we're going to be here next week, just in conversation. Next thing you know, he shows up. Saturday, where do you need me? Just comes to help. Where do you need me? I remember you were going to be here. Do you want me to help on grid? Do you want me to help grilling? I'm here to help. And he leaves yesterday and says, that's it. I'm with you guys now. That's it. One weekend it took. And I'm with you guys. Tell me where your next track day is. I'm there. Yeah. Just from a conversation over an air mattress.
Yeah.
It's like
it's funny. I heard that a couple of times over the weekend. I had a couple of drivers reach out to me, first time ever with us. He goes, oh, we're only doing DE with you guys from now on. That's it. There's no reason to do it with anybody else. That makes you feel
the
good.
highest compliment you can get.
Seriously.
It makes you feel so good when you hear that.
Yeah.
We're doing something right, I guess.
Yeah,
definitely.
All that hard work and effort, it shows in that. It just it makes you so happy.
Well, we'll continue to push that on and keep on growing and see where we go. If anybody ever has any questions, they obviously know they can talk to me or Santi anytime. Santi at hookedondriving.com, Cody at hookedondriving.com. Shoot us emails, questions, ideas. Yeah, we're good with ideas. If you were at the event July 4th and you have any video or pictures or stuff, be sure to post it up. And we hope to see you guys around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming up, Santi.
Thanks a lot. With us. Great talking to you guys.
All right. See ya.